What's up, YouTube community? This is my review of the film 1492 Conquest of Paradise. This film came out in 1992 in the 90s. It's about Christopher Columbus's discovery of America. I wanted to watch it just out of interest to see how America came to be. When I was a kid, I thought Chris Columbus was one guy in a paddle boat with a compass like, oh, finally land. I didn't know he led a whole regiment of sailors for a voyage funded by the Spanish government. Now in school, they were very lackluster with their explaining of Christopher Columbus. His name wasn't even Christopher Columbus, he was Italian. His name was Cristoforo Colombo. Columbus wasn't even the first guy to discover America. The Viking, Leif Erikson, discovered America half a millennia before Columbus. But obviously when Columbus set foot on America, news spread like wildfire and Europe decided to start a whole new civilization. He was fighting mad hard to get a voyage funded in the Atlantic Ocean to find land. He believed the stories of Marco Polo, and back then Marco Polo was seen as the local nut job and his stories were seen as ludicrous. Now this film was made by Ridley Scott. He's known for fabricating history. He cast all Europeans to play Egyptians in Exodus Gods and Kings. I don't know why he cast this French guy, Gerard Depardieu, to play Columbus, but I thought he was good in the role. At school, they missed out the part that when he landed in America, him and his regiment committed atrocities. I was told a glossed over version of what really happened, and they do the same in this film as well. It's still savage at sea now. You still got to be concerned about pirates, people sending messages in a bottle. The flight to America is long enough. I don't even want to know how long it is at sea. Now when they set out at sea, he thought he was going to find the other side of Asia from the west. And when they eventually found land, they landed in what is now called Bahamas. Now Chris and his homeboys, they came for the 3 G's. They came for glory, God and gold. They wanted to conquer the people of the land, they wanted to spread the word of God, and they wanted to find lost treasure like this place was Treasure Island or something. They portray Columbus as not barbaric. In the film, they're constantly showing Columbus as this purveyor of peace. Like anytime any of his sailors are around natives and get a bit trigger happy, he intervenes. But the real story is he took part in the assaults and the pillaging. When he saw the natives with gold nose rings, gold earrings, he adopted some of them, brought them aboard his ship and threatened them, asking where the gold is. And he was able to come back to Spain with a gold mask to show everyone. But in this film, it doesn't show the brutality. It shows Columbus touching a native's gold necklace, feebly saying, where did you get this? Now I said they thought they were looking for the other side of Asia. So they thought the natives were Indians and referred to them as Indians, which is why they call the Caribbean islands the West Indies and natives Indians. They didn't really have a name for America at the time. They often called it the New World. Now because they wanted to show Columbus as this purveyor of peace and this flower-giving hippie, he had to be the protagonist. So they chose to make one of his accomplices, Moxica, this gung-ho, gun-blazing, ask questions later type of guy who terrorizes the natives. Yes, it is true that Moxica was the initiator of the slaughtering of the natives, but Columbus was just as bloodthirsty. In real life, Columbus ordered the hand to be cut off of any natives who didn't bring him gold. In this, they show Columbus as some peacekeeper. When Moxica discovers some of their men murdered, he starts talking all this eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth shit, and then Columbus is like, no revenge. At this point, the face of the American continent looked very different. It was all forest, full of Native Americans before the Industrial Revolution. Everything starts off so rosy and wholesome with the natives, and eventually in the film they go to war with the natives and spread diseases, and there were accounts of rape. The Spanish monarch strips him of leading the voyages to America and replaces him with a guy called Francisco de Bobadilla. Sigourney Weaver plays Isabel, the Queen of Spain. He's stripped of his title because word gets out about the atrocities he was committing in America and his mismanagement, and he is imprisoned for this. Which, just like the modern day, you commit atrocities, you abuse power, you go to the slammer. So, as a child, when he's heralded as this hero to you, it becomes problematic. In North America, the indigenous people have been outcast in their own land, the skullduggery. In the south of the continent, they have been near exterminated, and the major sports leagues have made caricatures of the Native Americans as mascots. And Hollywood had the cheek to make movies about cowboys v Indians. I discovered after watching the film that during these BLM protests, a statue of Christopher Columbus had been pulled down in Minnesota. Whilst I don't think this film should be pulled down, I do think it needs a disclaimer. But check it out. Adios, Tamaine signing out.